I'm Kenny Lowry and welcome to BoulderFountain.com. Today we're going to show you how to set up our Cascade waterfalls using cinder block, maybe some natural stone that we have laying around and shims and things like that. You'll notice on some of the other videos on the website we have support rocks. Cinder blocks is going to give you more flexibility. We still have those support rocks. You can use those support rocks, but we want to show you how to do it using cinder blocks, because whether you have a severe slope, which you may not need any support rocks, or if you have a level area where you're going to need to use a lot of support rocks or cinder blocks to be able to bring up that cascade. So we've got a slight slope here. I know you can't see that in the camera, but it's a real slight slope. So you'll adjust when you're installing these, you'll adjust that because we don't know what slope you have, and you'll need to make those adjustments. So I would say the best way to do it is like we're doing. We're just going to start it. We do have some regular standard cinder blocks, 8x8 by 16s, but we may need 4-inch block, we may need 10-inch block. It's really going to depend on your grade of the land that you're working with there. So as you're digging out your basin, which there is a basin down there, and then we have the rubber liner down here too, so that all comes as part of the kit, as you can see on the website there. But you will have to start somewhere. So starting with your main rock down there on that basin, the dirt that you get from the basin, maybe you'll use that to berm up, because remember you have to berm this rubber liner, and we do talk about that elsewhere on the website too. So today we're going to primarily focus on using cinder block to build this cascade out. Now, you can take your cinder block and paint them black to make them more neutral. It's harder to see black when you got them under there. But what we're going to do, we're going to build it out with cinder block, and then we're going to take natural stones of various sizes. Could be like that or could be bigger, but you'll build those up underneath to basically so that you don't see the cinder blocks. So the rocks are going to be simply decorative on the outside of this. So once we're done, we got everything flowing the way we want, the last thing we'll do is bring in some natural rocks, disguise those cinder blocks so that you don't see those, and this is just step one. So we've got our base rock in place. It's over the basin. Right now Matt and Brian they're going to start bringing some cinder blocks in and making adjustments there as they set that next rock up there. So you do want it to be tilted forward, so the rock that you put here, you want the water to flow off the front only, not the back. So you may need to make those adjustments going backwards. There again, 4-inch block, 6-inch block, 8-inch block, whatever it is that you need to build that out. That looks like that's going to be pretty close right there, but they'll probably have to shim it. So they've got that first 2 blocks right there to support. Now remember, these rocks they're hollow underneath, so when they set that down, they're going to probably need to set the block over on the edge of the rock. So right now they're going to grab what we'll call the second rock. And what we're using here is part of the Sierra series and the Spruce series. And they're going to make some adjustments here as they go and put that on there. And ultimately, when you turn the water on is when you know you need to shim it and get the water to flow where you want it. So right now they're just getting started. They'll make some adjustments, I'm sure, as they go. And I will grab the camera and we'll take a close-up look at this as well. And I'm going to snap some photos here as we go too. And I will get the camera, we'll come around here back, and we'll take a picture of the cinder block as well. So as we go back here to see the steps so far, you can see we got that rock over there. Probably going to need to pull that rock forward a little bit. The secondary rock right there. Matt, I believe if you come here and look, you're probably going to want to pull that rock a little bit forward. At least an inch or two, you see what I'm saying? And Matt, Brian, kick yours around there as well. All right. And you might need to come over toward Matt, because see where that water is going to flow over there. Look at where it's flowing. Come up here, Matt, and I think you'll be able to see the adjustment, what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Matt's making adjustments as you go. There again, you can do it after you're done, but if you can get it as close as you can while you're doing the sets, it makes it a little easier. All right, so I'll go around here to the back. We'll take a look. And there is no right or wrong way. If you want to offset it, whatever you want to do, you can do that. But we're trying to get it to flow a certain kind of way, and you can adjust it however you want to. You can see those blocks back there. They're just adjusting those right now. So now as we go up on the next level, they'll probably have to use, stack those cinder blocks up double, or use an 8-inch and a 4-inch or something like that. So I'm going to pause it right here, and we'll pick up after we get to the next segment. No, you're fine. Okay, we were working out here. I want to show you this. We were doing the 4-stack, Blue Ridge 4-stack, and if you'll notice, this second rock, it's pitched forward a little high in the back. And we don't want it to be quite that high. So so far we've used 8x8 by 16 cinder blocks. So we want to go down a little bit. That's a little too tall there, that double stack right there. So Matt went to get did you find a 6-inch?
Yes.
Okay.
We'd have to drill through it.
We'd have to drill through it. So anyway, we're going to try to go with a 6-inch block rather than that 8-inch block, just to lower the back of that second rock down a little bit so it's not quite pitched so far forward. And you can see the blocks that we got under there so far. And you see we started stacking some rocks there. Now we're going to finish that out to hide it, because you don't want to be able to see those cinder blocks. Same thing with your rubber liner there. You don't want to be able to see that either. So once we get it done, we're going to hide those blocks so that you don't see them. And we're going to hide them with rocks. And I think you can kind of see what we're doing there. So on your end, if you got small rocks, you can do it. Large rocks are even better. If you bring in some large natural boulders like that one right there, bring that into the landscape, put it over there next to it. That's going to make it look even better. You can kind of see how this end right here on that second rock down, it's kind of sticking out. You don't really, I don't like that look, so you would fill that space in with your natural rocks. Even plants will do it. We'll have some ferns and some grasses, and right there's a burning bush coming in right there. So you can see how we're framing that fountain once the greenery comes in here. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to show you that. The next video will be showing you complete. But right now, that's the steps of building the cinder blocks. It doesn't take very long to do it. It's just stacking and then making the adjustments as you go forward on what size blocks that you need to use. And you could, like I said, paint those blocks there black. That will make them more neutral. You won't notice them as much. Okay, well here we have it finished. Remember, this is part of the, we used cinder block to build the supports for this. This is actually the Blue Ridge 4-stack Cascade. So we used cinder blocks. We showed you how to do that. So you should be able to use cinder blocks for any of these Cascade series. And I will show you the back now. What we did is we used the cinder blocks for the support, and then we finished it out with just stone. You can kind of see there what we did. I think it looked better to have some bigger stones. This is what we had laying around here. So a couple of bigger boulders up there, like if you had that big boulder there, a natural boulder, slide that over there. Probably some more plants would help it too. As you can kind of see, you can just finish it off, disguise those cinder blocks. There again, I did mention earlier, you can paint your cinder blocks black. That makes them more neutral. And I'll go around all the way over here to the side. So usually you get rocks at a stone yard or nursery. Usually those places are pretty much in every community, because everybody builds stone walls and rock work in their landscape. So usually you can find a stone yard in your area. You can go out and get some natural rock if you're in a mountainous area. Maybe you could go out and gather some in the woods, but that's what these are. You see the lichen and the moss all over those. So that's just a good way to do it. You can use your cinder blocks. That way you can adjust the support that you need in the back. That top second rock down there, we had it pitched too steep. So we had a double stack of 8-inch cinder blocks back there, which would have made 16 inches. And that pitched it forward too much. It worked, but we just didn't like the way it looked. So what we did was we used a 4-inch block. That kind of leveled it out some more. And I think that's a better adjustment to make on it. And that's things that you'll do on your end when you're installing these. As always, if you like what we're doing here and you like all the neat new things that we're adding, Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you like a quote on one of our products, we have the contact information there on the website. And if you have any questions about our products, just give us a call.